with us and joining with us and putting up with us, if you will. And I pray that, if you want to, please feel free to share anything that we have. If you got a subject you want to talk about, please let us know. And if you're in the Pontiac area, come by and visit with us sometime. Would actually like to look at a very, very wonderful scripture with you today. In the book of Hebrews, in the 11th chapter, and just look at the first two verses. And this is from the King James Version. I like the way the King James words this better than maybe the ESV or the NRSV or NIV. It says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report." So it's the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. How can you have substance and evidence? How can you have evidence of something you can't see, or substance of something you can't see, or something hoped for? Well, here's what we need to remember. In God, it can work. Substance is something you can grab a hold of. This chair. You can grab a hold of this chair. That's something. You got something to grab a hold of. Hopefully it has enough substance to hold myself up here for a little while. That's substance. Well, guess what? What he's talking about here is you go back and look at the founding of this church. This church has been here for over 100 years. I pastored my former congregation, was there, I think this year was their 275th year of ministry, and thank God for that. That's wonderful. Well, guess what? There were people 275 years ago who thought they needed to plant a church there. And over 100 years ago, there were folks who said, hey, we need a church here in Pontiac. And guess what? We are the substance and the evidence of their faith. We are the substance of the evidence of the things hoped for. It's us. And guess what? There are people who are not even born who are the evidence and the substance of our faith. That's why we're continuing to minister and do the things that we do. This is why, I want this Church of First Lutheran to be viable long after I'm gone, and that it can still be ministering in this area to those folks who may not even be born yet, because they are the substance, they are the evidence that we're looking forward to. I pray today that when you consider your faith life, remember it's just not about you, and it's not about just the here and now. It's about what's going to happen many years from now. Remember when Jesus was walking this earth, and as he was being crucified, and then during his time in the ground, in the place of the earth, and in the depths of hell, as Scripture says, and as the Creed says, and then the resurrection, guess what? He was looking forward to evidence and substance of that too, and we're it. And there is substance and evidence yet to come. I pray today that you would look at things a little differently when you consider your faith life, and remember that we are working not just for the now, but for that thing later on that will be the substance and the evidence of our faith.